8 minutes. I don't take that window of opportunity lightly to be invited into your life for 8 minutes. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to share something that I believe is very, very important. In this 8 minutes, I'd like to share with you 3 pillars that I believe, if subscribed to, will help you live an exceptional life. I've learned all of these things since I was 27 years of age. The first one is, at 27, I took up running. I took up running to lose weight. I took up running to keep my mind occupied from cigarettes. I got physically fit, which is what I was looking for, but I got something else. I got mentally fitter. That's why I love to talk about the benefits of physical exercise. But I got something else. Something I wasn't expecting to get, something incredibly important to me that I've since tried to remember every day ever since. I became aware. I became aware of something incredibly important. I became aware of the fact that I was alive. You see, previous to this, I wasn't aware of the fact. But I woke up to the fact that I was alive at 27 years of age, to the fact that I became consciously aware. You see, when you go home tonight, a lot of the people that you see are not consciously aware of this incredible gift they have, which is a day, time on the earth, a day in your life. Because, you see, it's like this. Someday the powers that you believe in are going to call you in, and are going to say, sorry, no more days. Your time is up. And possibly when that happens to you, you might say, hang on. One more day, just give me one more day, because I got to do this, and I got to do this, and I got to do this, and I got to go there, and I got to speak to those people. And the powers that you believe in would probably say to you, I gave you 365 of those day things last year. What did you do with those? So I would encourage you, the first pillar to living an exceptional life is to be aware of the fact that you have a life. To be consciously aware of it. Number 2, about 2 years ago, I got a phone call from a county 3.5 hours from my house. I was invited to speak about the kind of things that I speak in the corporate sector. And I said, who's the audience? They gave me the audience. I wrote it down. I said, what are the messages? They gave me the messages. I said, great, I'll see you in a month. The next day, my phone rang from the same county with another speaking engagement. And I said, who's the audience? I wrote down the audience. They said, what are the messages? I wrote down the messages. And I looked at them and I compared them, and I realized they were actually identical. And I said, I think I have this inquiry booked in already. I said, what time is it at? And they said, 8 o'clock. And I looked at this one and it was 4 o'clock. And I said, just to be sure, where is your event on? And they told me it was a different town in the same county. Now, you might think that it was just a pure coincidence. You might think that the most efficient use of my time in my business life is to prepare one presentation, but I didn't. I prepared 2 completely different presentations, 5 or 6 hours for this client, a completely different 5 or 6 hours for this client. For 2 reasons. I work, just like all of you, I work for remuneration. But I have a value in my business, and I live the value, which is a commitment to continuous improvement. So every presentation I do, I must be able to prove to myself that it's better than the last one. That's the first reason why I did it. The second reason is much more important. The second reason I did it was well, here's the thing. When I was driving home that night, 3.5 hours of my life, with what I'd done in my life that day, I was buzzing with fulfillment and happiness for what I'd done in my life in that day. You cannot put a price on that. But you see, here's the thing. I had to do it for myself. I had to extract it. I have a commitment to continuous improvement, to continually ask more of myself. So many of us never see ourselves as the solution to the problem. If you want to be happier, the answer lies within you, intrinsic motivation. So my second recommendation, my second pillar for living an exceptional life is to be or to get uncomfortable. Because that's where the magic in life is, out of the comfort zone. My final pillar. I set up my own business 14 years ago. I used to be in a different business. Now I do this full-time in particular aspects of business. But about 4 years into opening my own business, it was going exceptionally well, but in actual fact, too well. I actually couldn't cope with it. And a friend of mine just walked into my office one day in March of 2006, and he just walked in on the wrong day because there was 16 messages on my phone. My staff were coming in out with demands of what I had to do. I had clients waiting outside, and I had a diary jammed full of activities. I had this big A4 diary, and every single aspect of it, when I looked down on it, was full of 1,000 different things that I had to do in my life. And my friend walked in just at the wrong time. I was stressed. I actually picked up my diary and I threw it across the desk at him. I said, look, I cannot cope with this. This is my life. Help me. He said, close your eyes. I said, close my eyes. I'm too busy. Will you please help me? He said, close your eyes. So I closed my eyes. And in the next 30 seconds, he taught me the third pillar. It hit me like an express train. You see, what he'd done, unknowns to me because my eyes were closed, he'd grabbed 6 months in his hand because it was a diary, and he'd gone forward like that to where I'd no activities. And as I'm opening my eyes, he's pushing my diary back in front of me. And he said, Jerry, open your eyes. So I opened my eyes. He said, Jerry, it could be worse. It could be like that. You could have nothing to do. So the third pillar to live an exceptional life is to be grateful, to focus on what you have, not on what you don't have. You see, in 2009, I couldn't run for 5 months, and I loved to run. And I said, well, maybe life is teaching you something here. So I went into it for learning, and I wrote the following down. Jerry, now you want to run, you can't run. If you're ever lucky enough to run again, don't ever have a philosophy that you have to run, because you never have to run. You hear people say, I have to run. We never have to run. We get to run. And that's just a philosophy. It's incredibly empowering. And then I realized, well, I could actually apply this to any aspect of my life. Have to run, get to run. Have to work, get to work. Have to be busy, get to be busy. Have to pay taxes, get to pay taxes. Have to grow older, or get to. You see, growing older is a privilege denied to many. So my third pillar is to be grateful. And that's the three of them. Be aware. Be aware of what you have. Time on the earth, what a precious commodity. Be uncomfortable. Your happiness index in life is determined by how uncomfortable you are prepared to get. And the third one is to be grateful. To focus on what you have, not on what you don't have. That's 8 minutes. That's me saying goodbye. Thank you very much. Thank you.